What's up, y'all? What's going on? It is Monday. Is the thing on? Okay. All right, so we're here. We're out here. It's Monday. We're talking about Insecure. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. By the way, you parked your car sideways. Yes, come on. Shout out to Prince. His birthday was yesterday. Yes, it was Prince all day, honey. Honey. Shout out to Prince. Yes. Yes. You say, what have I got to lose? Honey, I said. Okay, so what are you guys? Did you guys like the episode of Insecure? I did. I really did. However, I did not like the beginning. Okay, so they start off with Issa. It's a shot of Issa and Lawrence sitting on the couch, right? Let me get my studio together, girl. Let me get my blocking together, okay? You guys, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how proud I am of all of the people across the world globally who are standing up in solidarity with this movement to start holding these cops accountable. So many cops are being charged. I hope that this really changes. There is an initiative to defund police, meaning to stop giving money to them, right? And put money elsewhere. And, we have seen studies to show that cops in neighborhoods doesn't change the crime. It doesn't change the crime. What does change the crime is accessibility, having access to resources. That changes, okay? That changes. Of course, you're always going to have your, people who have to keep balance in the ecosystem where good and bad happen. That's going to happen. But giving all the money to police and then for them to be a military style police, people, citizens of this world of America, have PTSD related to this terrorist organization we call the police, right? They are America's terrorist cell, right? So, I'm all for it. I support that. It's across the board. It's globally. There's a lot of conversations about defunding the police, and I actually support that. The abolishment of prisons, I haven't really looked into that much to understand how that would work in terms of violent crimes. Non-violent crimes, I totally get it, right? Crimes that occur when people are going through mental episodes, I get it. Like there's other resources for that. But also mental facilities are not that great when it comes to, they have police and mental facilities. If somebody's going through an episode, you don't need cops there. You don't need people who are armed there or to have that presence, because it's intimidating and it does raise the blood pressures of people. And I don't understand how, in a quote unquote peaceful protest, when you're met with this image of, helmets and batons, and it's like, we don't have nothing. You guys have all these things, and yet you're the ones who are afraid to go, or saying that we don't know if we're going to make it home. We go out every day. We don't know if we're going to make it home or not. Well, so do you just decide to take somebody else's life so they don't make it home? You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for that. I support that. Yeah. So all of you guys who are out in the front lines, shout out to y'all. Be safe. Use good judgment and listen to your intuition. I've been seeing people getting pulled up and snatched up by unmarked cars. That's ultimately, I can't even imagine the people around trying to scream when that girl was taken into an unmarked car, yelling and screaming because the car was unmarked, and they don't like, where are you taking her? You know what I mean? And they have a lot of you know, different styles, the carotid artery where, you know, how old boy died. And then that's a tactic that needs to, like the chokehold was taken away. That needs to be taken away. There are things that need to be taken away while they're on the path to defunding the police and putting the funds elsewhere within the community to uplift communities rather than heavily police them with no change in crime whatsoever. So, you know, whatever. So shout out to everybody who's been out this weekend. Shout out to everybody at home. Shout out to the healers. Shout out to the messengers. Shout out to people who are on the front lines, to the distractors. Shout out to the looters. Shout out to the rioters, and shout out to the protesters. All of y'all. So everybody's mad. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. It's no peaceful. It's no nice. It's no being nice and all this stuff. That stuff has to, that doesn't get anybody anywhere. And y'all need to stop saying we are not our ancestors, because our ancestors is the energy that's coming through all of this. That's the ancestor energy. That's not, we are not our ancestors. They didn't put up with shit too. No matter what you think they did not put up. There was people who did not put up with shit. People who did and people who didn't. Just like it is now. People who, oh, it's okay, you know, they're just doing their job. And then there's people like, no. So that's just what it is. Anyways, I gotta hurry up. Okay, so Insecure. So they start off with them sitting at the on the couch, right, looking at each other. And I'm like, okay. They show them looking at each other, and then they show them, you know, doing different things on this couch. Here we go, on this couch again, right? Do we remember them in this couch? They're on this couch, and they're doing all these things. They're showing them watching movies, eating, playing around, screwing. They showing all these things. And then they start talking. I was like, oh, I thought it was a movie. I really did think it was a movie. Before I get into that, shout out to Yvonne Orji for Mama I Made It on HBO on Saturday night. If you did not watch it, you missed out. When I tell you, Yvonne Orji is so funny, and her show is so relatable, even with her Nigerian mother and father, and she telling us all the little stories about her Nigerian parents. All the stories were relatable. She was funny. I laughed out loud almost through the whole thing. It was very relatable. I loved it. If you haven't seen it, it's called Mama I Made It. It's an hour stand-up. She did phenomenally. Shout out to Yvonne Orji. You did the best. On this show, honey, bitch, I don't like you. I'm just sorry. I'm just gonna say it. I'm like one of them old ladies in the grocery store who runs into a soap star. I don't like you. I don't like what you did to Issa. I don't like what you did to Issa. I don't. Anyway, so Issa tells Lawrence about Nathan, because he texts her asking her if she's gonna help him move. And so she says, I just want to be honest with everything, this and that. And he tells her, yeah, it's over with Condola, and that's what it is. And I'm glad you're being honest, and blah, blah, blah. One thing I did notice is that when she asks, where are we? And he says, or what are we? Or what are we doing? And then he says, what do you want it to be? This is the second time that Lawrence has displayed a behavior that wasn't in step with Issa. When she said, I love being with you, or last episode he was like, me too. He didn't express the same sentiments back to her. Then right here he's also putting it on her again, like, well, what do you want? Right? He's putting on her. He did not express what he wanted out of Issa. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. I noticed that. He still did not answer the question. I don't care how y'all love them all on the back of the couch fucking and stuff. No, I'm not here for it. I do not want them to be together. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be right. Anyways, Molly is sitting with Dr. Rhonda, wasting her damn time. That's all she doing, is wasting Dr. Rhonda's time. Rhonda talked about the relationship and her having anxiety, and that Issa should respect her relationship. And Dr. Rhonda tells her, all of these people have done something to you. What's your role? Molly feels like she was right. She wants to be right, or do you want to be in relationship? Do you want to be right, or do you want to be in relationship? That's a great question. Dan, you got to read me. But she don't take none of Dr. Rhonda's advice. None of it. She's wasting that lady's time. None of it. And she's stuck. Molly is stuck. She wants to be right. She says, well, are you in a relationship that, is it serving you? She's like, well, that's my BFF. And she's like, okay, well, okay, that's great and everything, but clearly there's a problem here. So I feel what I thought about, the first thing that jumped into my head was the fact that people, how many times, and I'll ask you guys this and you can put it down in the comments, because it's happened to me. And I think as we grow and understand how relating to people work and what's good for you, and how to uplift relationships that serve you and to remove relationships that don't serve you, I think until we learn that, a lot of us base the length of time knowing someone on how loyal you should be to them. And that's not how it goes. And it's not. And not everybody. And a lot of the times, people stay in relationships long after they expire because of the time. Right? The time I've known you. The time we've been together. The time we've been in this relationship. We might as well stay together. I'm going to try to work on it because we've been together so long. We hold on to time when we should really be present. We hold on to time so much. And a lot of the time that it's expired. The relationship has expired. To me, Issa and Molly's relationship has expired. And it's okay. That's life. And a lot of the times, again, even the vibe, we try to ignore, the vibrations be off, right? It doesn't feel right when you're around this person. You don't feel easy. It's not flowing. It's a lot of stagnant energy in the relationship, or when you're around each other. You know it. But a lot of times we ignore it because of time. And that's what's going on with Molly and Issa. Issa texts Nathan and let him know that it's okay to help them. She calls Kelly's voicemail. I love that Kelly's voicemail was in English and in Spanish. I love it. I love that even just that little piece of Kelly, you laugh. It was funny. She calls her brother, who was of no help to her at all. Issa just wants to tell somebody about what's going on with her and Lawrence, and she doesn't have anybody to talk to. She's not really cool with she's not gonna tell what's the girl's name, Amanda Seale's character. She's not gonna tell her because she's friends with Condola. Ain't no you know what I'm saying? So she calls Kelly. Kelly's not available. She can't call Molly, right? So she calls her brother. Her brother is of no help to her, and he was like, "You get what you pay for, girl." And then she was like, "Me and Lawrence are back together." He was like, "Does he know?" I love it. I love every minute of it. Hold on. My wheel was turned. Okay. Anyway, so she was like, is it messy? I think I'm overthinking things. Do y'all think it's messy for her to continue the relationship with Nathan and then also with Lawrence? My thing was, if Nathan doesn't have a clear understanding of his position in your life, then no, right? And Issa doesn't have, we've seen Issa demonstrate an inability to communicate effectively, right? So if she's not going to communicate, and what she actually did very well in this episode, my thing was, before I saw the scene with them, if she's not going to communicate to Nathan what his position is, then it's not good, because it's almost like you're leading him on. He's going to think that, he's inviting you to help him move. That's what friends do. Like, your friends help you do that. And if this girl, anyways, I don't have to explain. Y'all know what it is. So she calls Molly, and then you see Molly sitting in the car, and then she's like, you just calling me? You're just calling me to talk about yourself. Ain't shit changing. And then we realized that it was it was fake, right? So she was, what is it called? Thinking about it. What is it called? What is it called when that happens? Anyways, so we realized that it wasn't real. And I was like, that's some shit she would say. So she just leaves her a message, and she says, let's get together. And this is Issa now putting forth the effort to extend to, what's her name? Right? So they meet at Pan's. I've never been to Pan's. As long as Pan's has been there, I have never been there. And for some reason, I don't know why, when I look at Pan's, I just imagine a bunch of white old people in there, like a Norms or something like that. But anyway, this Pan's right in there in the little intersection thing down in Inglewood. Shout out to Pan's. They had mimosas. The girl brings a mimosa. Issa's really nervous. Molly arrives. It's very shallow. The conversation is very shallow, very surface. Issa is trying, but she's saying, later that she didn't really want to get into it. She's kind of like trying to smooth her over. I was upset. I was like, they didn't talk about anything. It was very shallow, very surface, very fake. I felt exactly the way Molly felt, how she explained it to Andrew. I was like, oh yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I was like, they didn't get anything accomplished. It was very surface. Molly started to tell her when she said, I saw your vacation pics there, you look really bomb in your bathing suit or something. She was like, oh yeah. And then she wanted to tell Issa, but then she stopped herself. Notice that? Okay. Very good writing. And then it was funny when she said, yeah, how's your nephew? And she was like, which one, girl? And she was like, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, my brother, he had a baby and she left him with the baby and it's not even his. We got a whole stranger in our house, baby. When she said that, and she said her grandmother thinks the baby is cursed because he got a mustache. Baby, I hollered. You know what else I hollered? Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you when I get there. So anyway, they had it was very small talk that they had. It was weird. Issa paid for brunch, which surprised Molly. And she was like, girl, I love you. And she was like, I love you too. But when Molly gets back to the place with Andrew, she was like, I showed up, it was shallow. And I agree. But Molly has this energy about her where she feels as though it was Issa's fault. And I think she thinks that Issa is going to apologize, is creating these spaces to apologize. And I don't think that I don't even think Issa thinks she needs an apology, because no one has let on to Issa believing that Molly owes her an apology. Issa just wants to get past it. But Molly is expecting an apology because to her, Issa disrespected her relationship, and this is a relationship she's trying hard to maintain, and why was she disrespected? So Andrew invites Molly, or Victor invites Molly and Andrew to a basketball game. Molly declines the invitation. He was like, well, you got to go out. This is my brother. Like, if we're going to be in a relationship, I know y'all had y'all thing. So how would y'all feel about that? I'm sure you guys have had, and it's not even in just conflict with your significant other's brother or sister or relative or anybody. How do you navigate that? How do you just, and then it's something as sensitive as race, right? And then for him to be dismissive to her, she's not ready to be around him. Now, we don't know the length of time that it's been. It's been some time, because we see Issa and Lawrence are in this thing together, right? So I don't know if I would go either. Like, I don't want to go. I don't really want to be around your brother. But he's like, you got to be around my brother. So my brother, if we're going to be in a relationship, I'm very close to my brother. I don't know. But we need to get into Andrew's story. Anyways, so we're just looking for LaToya, right? So Issa and her intern or assistant are planning another event. The girl got warm waffles in her purse, keeping them warm with hand warmers. I thought that was hilarious. Lawrence calls her, which that exchange to me, the San Francisco treat, they could have left that out. It was awkward. It was weird. It wasn't timed well. That's just in my opinion. I thought it was weird for her to call him my San Francisco. Are you gonna be a trolley nigga? Because I really don't like. I don't know. That was weird to me. Anyway, so he says the interview went really, really well. Molly seems like she's kind of bummed out about it, but she's trying to give him, be encouraging to him. And then she says, I met with Molly. He was like, how'd that go? How did that go? And she says it went well. And she has a different perspective of how the brunch went than Molly does. I see it the way Molly sees it. It was very shallow, very surface. Issa doesn't see it that way. And she misread it, right? And he was like, I guess you guys just needed some space before trying again, which kind of can be applied to their relationship as well. We get to Nathan's apartment, and he's doing a lot of flirting. He's trying to push up on her, very subtle, very trying to move next to her, doing the books. She greets him at the door. What up, nigga? Because she wants to make it seem like this is my homeboy. It's nothing here, bruh. Nothing. Y'all know what it is, ladies. Y'all know how it is. And be like, okay, bruh. Like, let me shake your hand. It's no hugs. I'm not giving you the wrong idea, brother. Come on, give me a pound. Like, we're not doing none of that. So this is what Issa was trying to do with Nathan. It was really funny. And But he's kind of like, you know, telling her, he was like, yeah, you know, my barbershop, the owner of the barbershop is retiring, so my friends and I are going to go in and we're going to buy the barbershop. Great. She was like, oh my God, Nathan, that's wonderful, and this and that. And he was like, yeah, so I'm gonna need your help, you know, when you get your event. So I'm gonna need some shout outs because I'm gonna have a few more bills, and you know. And she was like, cool. And he was like, you know, and then he was like, I could, what did he say? I was like, oh, he's flirting. I said, okay, Nathan. He was like, I could help, or I could do something. Basically, I could, if I need your services, I could pay for them. I got a way. I got a way to pay for them. So I did notice that he said that Issa's hustle inspired him. And then that's amazing, because we saw that Condola inspired Issa and Lawrence, right? And then Issa inspired Nathan. And it's like, it only takes one person to inspire one person, and they can go off and be great. You know what I mean? You don't have to, it only takes one person. Your mission is accomplished, right? And I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but that is like, I've noticed that they said, you helped me, you inspired me to do this, right? You make me want to get my game up. That's what Lawrence said to Condola, remember? And then Issa was that for Nathan. And so he's inspired by her to do better. And so she tells him about Lawrence, and he says, oh, is that the nigga you cheated on? He immediately got salty, which was very good acting, because it looked on brand with how niggas react when you tell them, listen, it's what it is. He got a little hater came out. He was like, oh, that's the nigga you cheated on, right? Oh, I hope he get his stuff together, because he seems a little sometimey. And when he said that, I was like, Nathan, you got a whole lot of nerve about somebody being sometimey, Mr. Patrick Swayze. You ghosted that lady, okay? And she reminded him, like, yeah, at least he knows how to communicate. He doesn't leave without saying anything. And so they have their little words, and he stopped, right? And he was like, I love the way the white kitchen was on him, and how the cabinet was open and he turned around. Great camera direction this time too for me. Not as good as the last episode, but I watch for that, and I like it. And so he says, I have bipolar, and she was like, oh, I did not know that. He was like, yeah. And so I retract everything, and I was like, yes. When they were at Coachella, they was jumping in strangers' pools. They were doing all of these things that would be indicative of somebody in a manic episode, and that's what he was experiencing when he met Issa. And that's why it was so like, oh my God, I found somebody who's like loves me and who's wants to be with me and who is, you know, all of this stuff, and then they disappear. He was in a manic episode. So that's what we got everything from. That's what I got from it. That's the reason why Coachella and all that other stuff was so fun. And he says, you know what? I just needed clarity on the type of people that I wanted in my life. And you are the type of person that I want in my life. And I thought that was dope. And I'm glad that hopefully they can work on the friendship and legitimately be friends. But anyways, they're helping each other move. So they get over to, Molly and, Andrew, or to Andrew and Nathan's apartment. And they walk in, Molly's there, they're getting ready to eat, and they walk in and they're like, oh no, we'll be quick or whatever, trying to get their stuff together or whatever. And when Issa lifted up that box, bitch. Baby. Her and Nathan was trying to get out of there. She was like, oh no, we'll just get our stuff and we'll leave. And when she lifted that box, she was like, why is this box so heavy? He was like, I don't know. She was like, I thought it was pillows in there. It was so funny because they were showing their conversation. You could hear them talking while the cameras were on Molly and Andrew. It was so funny to me. She was like, why would you pack this like this? Oh, I thought there was pillows in there, baby. Why would you think it was pillows in there, Issa? That was funny to me. So they end up staying. And Molly is the one who extends the invite. They're eating, reminiscing, talking about old things. They're having a good time. Then Issa mentions that they used to play this drinking game about guessing celebrity heights and this and that. And so they're playing, and it was kind of, Molly was kind of hesitant, and you can see Andrew over there rubbing her arm, like kind of supporting her, like, okay, I got you, whatever decision, I got you. That's what that looked like to me, right? So she was like, okay, go get another bottle. So he goes and gets another bottle of wine, and Molly sends the text. She accidentally sends a text to Issa, and it says, see, at least I'm trying. For me, if I was Issa, I would not have told her that I got that message until I left on the way. Girl, you send the message to the wrong person. I don't think this message was for me. Issa jumps up and runs out. I wouldn't have sent. What would y'all have done? Would y'all have texted right then and there? That pissed me off so much, because I'm like, Molly, who? I don't know why that made me so mad. And it's like, I could see. It was even the tone of the text. Like, bitch, I could see if the text was like, I'm glad I made this decision. I'm glad we're trying to work on it. Right? Like, if that was the text, then I could see Issa being like, oh, you sent this wrong, but I'm glad we're working on it too, girl. But it was like, see, at least I'm trying with this bitch. She did not say with this bitch, I'm adding, but that's the tone that I got. And that's why I was like, Issa, don't tell her that you got the text until you leave, so her face can be on the floor. But she sent her the text right back and said, I don't think this was for me. And then she was like, that wasn't meant for you to see. She was like, no shit. She walked out, she get in the Uber. She was like, what do you mean you got to try and work on things with me? I didn't know it was that hard to be around me. And she was like, well, we're not talking about anything. It's just very shallow. We're playing drinking games and having brunch. We're not really. She's like, well, I'm trying to get to that place, right? I'm trying to get to that place. Now, all of a sudden, Molly wants to. Oh, the only reason why Molly is pressing the issue is because she's expecting an apology. That's the only reason, child. That's the only reason why that girl is. And she was like, it just seems like this is forced. And it does seem forced, and it's very shallow. And Issa lets her know, I'm the only one trying. I'm the only one putting forth the effort. You're not. I called you to brunch. I'm here. Like, you extended this invitation, but then the energy behind it is like, see, at least I'm trying. Girl, what is it? Like, and I just didn't like that. So she was like, I can't be the only one putting forth the effort, Molly. And she was like, well, it just doesn't seem like the person who you are today, it doesn't seem like it fits anymore with who I am. And that's okay. But when when Issa said, okay, Molly goes, okay, like, what did you say that for? Like, if you didn't mean that. And the way she responded was, okay, because Issa at this point is like, girl, the Nigerian restaurant, I'm not going in here. I'm not putting forth the effort. I was the bigger person. I put forth the effort, and you still acting like a bitch. I'm trying, right? I'm trying to get us to a place where we can have this conversation. We don't know because nobody communicates well on this goddamn show. Nobody. And that was pretty much it. I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed, Issa trying to lift that box up, baby. When I told you that sent me over, and cause she lifted it up, and the way she whispered to him, like, I thought, why would you pack this like this? I'm sorry, I screamed. It was funny to me. Anyways, y'all take care of each other. Protect your energy. If you're out on the front lines, take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Please stay hydrated. Wear your mask. And make sure that after you are in the streets that you actually, if you have access to go take a test, a COVID-19 test, please go take one and make sure that you are negative and you're just not asymptomatic. So please make sure you guys are taking care of yourself. Shout out to everybody on the front lines. You guys are real ones. And shout out to everybody behind the scenes who are making things happen. Whether you are donating, whether you are helping helping pass water out to whatever you're doing, whatever part you're playing. I don't care if you put $1 donation to whatever organization you want to put to. you can do your part. Not everybody has to be on the front line. That's not everybody's role. We understand that, right? There is an ecosystem and everybody works together. Everybody can't be out in the front. There has to be people in the back to make sure that if anything happens to the people in the front, the stuff can continue from the back, okay? Y'all take care of each other. Protect your energy once again. And we'll get down in the comments. Peace.